Hello, I'm Bloodied Porcelain, and I will be playing Nienna, the Elven Mage.
Hello, I am Overthinker. I will be playing Irileth, the assassin turned bouncer.
Hello, I am Legacy, and I'll be playing Brynnhilder, the Witcher.
Hello, I'm Grizz, and I will be playing Fenix, the silversmith.
And I'm Solomon, and I will be your game master for this evening. When we last left our intrepid professionals, they had tracked down the attacker that had not only killed Mina, the dear friend of Irileth, but also helped in stealing away her child, Jack. They tracked him down to a small hovel within the Narrows, a much poorer part of the city, and found out that he was also a Doppler. He had a contract inscribed in his flesh that made it so that he would do these acts of kidnapping and violence and would receive, in turn, power. As to what exactly the power was, it was hard to make out. When asked certain questions, he was unable to answer, or had to answer quite vaguely, until Nienna utilized Philippa Eilhart's technique and discovered who it was that gave him this contract and gave him this job, only to her horror find that it was, in fact, her lover, her mentor, Isilgir. Distraught by this new information, she and the others had to abandon the house where the Doppler burned from the inside out for inadvertently betraying his contract. They left the scene quite quickly and made their way back to the Body Bar Guest, the brothel where they have somewhat made camp. Nienna utilized her magic to call on her mentor, and one heartbreaking conversation later determined that she must do whatever she can to stop him, whether for stopping him from doing whatever his goal is, or hurting her friends. She will have to discover which is more important. We return now on a new day to focus on Brynnhilder and Irileth, who have once again taken to the Narrows, because Brynnhilder has a contact, a Doppler, who might know more about what's going on. But with the little conversation that she had in passing the night before, has been led to believe, or at least the contact seemed to give off the idea that he is not a direct part of what's going on, but might know something. Brynnhilder and Irileth, I would like you both to start us off by rolling awareness, please.
That's a 17.
And I... 26.
Well. You both are making your way back down to the Narrows, and you can see that, for the most part, the Narrows has become peaceful again. The large fire that you used to cover your tracks has definitely enveloped the building that the Doppler was in, and now people are just a few people are working to just sort of clean up the area and loot whatever can be recovered from the place, because this is the Narrows. If people need to get whatever they can to buy food or medicine for the next day. Brynnhilder, You are walking along, and there is an odd smell in the air. Your heightened Witcher senses can smell like just how decrepit this place is, how close it is to the sewers, but you also smell the burning of the acrid scent of burning flesh and wood, but you also smell something odd. You smell oil. You smell a particular kind of oil. You're not sure where it's coming from, but it is the telltale scent of a witcher's oil.
There's another Witcher here.
What? Where?
I don't know, but I can smell it.
You can smell each other?
You talk as though that is the weirdest thing you've heard in these last couple of days.
Fair point. Fair point. Should we be on guard, or...
That is entirely dependent on who the Witcher is and what school they're from.
Right.
Am I able to get a sense, like, out of character, do specific Witcher schools have specific scents with their oils, or is it all just kind of together?
They all generally use the same kinds of oils that follow the same general formula. The alchemical formula are just sort of standard throughout. However, there are occasions where certain schools will be more inclined to use a specific ingredient to achieve the right sort of alchemical formula. Like, for example, cat schools might be more inclined to utilize more nightshade for a certain type of, for like hangman's poison or hangman's oil, that kind of thing. From what you scent of this, it smells like the foulness of monsters. Apparently, whatever oil this is definitely utilized more parts for monsters as opposed to natural plants.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just has that intense, like, sulfuric and like methane-y type of scent to it.
If we get jumped, you want to body him and I'll go for the vitals?
Sure.
Cool.
Fucking
slums. Right?
It's not the worst place I've ended up. Probably won't be the worst place I end up by the end of the week.
Yeah, but like, how does it always happen? You know? Every city's got a slum. Every slum's got monsters. I feel like they'd have figured this out.
Unfortunately, the slums are the best place to blend in if you're a monster.
Right, but like, why are there slums?
There is something to say about people with a lot of money and how they like to hold on to that money.
Mm-hmm.
People in this area, they're gonna grasp for pennies, while people who are nobility and higher up are gonna grasp for gold.
Plus, you notice how it's usually like, kind of points at his ears, who end up in places like this.
Beaks numbers on where we are and where we need to go. It's okay. A lot of the times, people like me end up in this area too.
And at least it's not outside the Bargest. Bad for business.
Hmm.
Well, I don't want to step over whatever this is to get into a brothel, you know?
Yeah.
Brynnhilder, you lead Irileth to the little alleyway that you know that your contact, Kuro, makes his little hovel, his own little hideaway. He doesn't live in a building because you've dealt with him enough to know that he thinks that houses just are targets for robbers. So he thinks that living on the streets is actually safer for him to protect what's his.
Yeah, sure. So when she ends up in his little hovel, is there like a door at least?
It's more like a tent flap. He has set up like a small little string of bells that you know that you hope for him you have to ring it once and then wait a second and ring it twice.
All right. Then once they get to the little tent hole, she'll go ahead and do the rings of the bell, and look over to Irileth. Some people are smart enough to know to hang out in the poorer parts.
Irileth, you see a eye appear in like one of the holes in the little tent flap. Like it is a gray eye that seems to almost be shifting across the color spectrum as it looks at you.
Subtle.
It's just me and a friend.
And then you see the tent flap open, and it seems that Kuro is in the same form, kind of like a smaller, somewhat gaunt, human-looking individual with ginger hair, and is just looking at you, and then at Irileth and narrowing his eyes, then back at you. You know, I don't like people, Brynnhilder.
And that's why we get along so well. But this is important.
Yeah, I can tell. You and your buddies beating feet from a fire. That's and he just looks down each end of the alleyway. All right, come inside. And he will step back and let you enter a small little area. It's not exactly huge, but he has chairs and a couple of pillows that don't look like they match, so he probably stole them from different places.
Nice place.
It's nice enough.
For
me.
You have a lot of company?
Yeah. No.
Koro, this is my companion who I pick up work with at the brothel downtown. Irileth, this is my compatriot, Koro.
You two close?
I don't hate her as much.
We strive barely on tolerance, and more so understanding. Listen, I need some information.
As usual. How can I help you?
I need to know what you know about what's been going on with kids going missing and your friends possibly getting involved
The
with some
Dopplers,
well, for one, other Dopplers aren't exactly my friends. We don't exactly have a club.
My apologies for not being well versed in your social life, Koro.
Yeah, it's fine. But I do kind of keep tabs on people, including my people. I'm guessing you're wanting to know about those of them that have begun taking harder, rougher jobs.
Yeah. Do you know what's been going on? Are you aware of the shit that's been going on around here?
Bits and pieces. I know some people have ended up losing kids or something. At least they say they have. I wouldn't be surprised if most of them just do the whole trail of treats business.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I heard mention of one of the others that was taking part in making certain kids go missing. I know that apparently whatever they were planning on doing would net them something, power or safety or something like that. It was actually kind of weird.
Weird how?
Well, what it was is that we aren't exactly easy to find, right? How we blend in so easily enough that it's pretty much impossible for anyone who's not one of you to pick us out, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The ones that approached everyone, myself included, it was one of your kind, one of your types, a witcher. Or could have been multiple witchers. I don't know if it was all the same one. But it was definitely cat-eyed bastards.
Hmm.
One that approached me had a cat's head amulet.
I see.
The one that I saw, I did see one different one going and talking to the one down the road. His amulet was, what was it?
It wouldn't have happened to be a bear head, would it?
A bear? No. It was it was a snake. Like the serpent. Like the ones that killed the kings, you know.
Right. Cat and a snake. Any descriptions, physical descriptions that I should be on the lookout for?
Well, they were covered up pretty much. The cat one was a lot thinner. Had a lot less muscle to him, but well, fit the head. Had the sort of reflexes kind of thing going on, like to jump around and scale the buildings to get off the streets. The snake one, yeah.
He's saying that there was a witcher that recruited them. We know there's one nearby. I'd like to try to slip undetected out of this tent and see if I can get eyes on this nearby witcher. Sounds like he's on a roof.
Okay, go ahead and you can give me another awareness check. I'm going to lower the difficulty a little bit because you know a little bit of what you're looking for.
Cool. Same roll. 17.
You are looking up at the roofs and you do not see anything out of the ordinary just yet. But but with the few buildings that are nearby, you can to keep an eye out, and you think that if he gets closer, you will definitely spot him.
Cool. I also prepare a knife. Somebody jumps at us, I can throw it at him.
Alrighty then.
Cool.
So, And inside he says, the snake one. What did he... He was a lot bulkier. He kind of had a sort of like a punch to him, like he was used to running like with his shoulders tucked.
She's just taking mental note of the school of the viper and the school and the cat, looking out, poking her eye out of like the small crack in like the tent flaps. Well, if they're still here, it might be slightly easier to catch up with them. Maybe ask them a couple of questions about hired help.
I mean, if you want to, I'm really not keen on meeting other Witchers. Once enough.
What? You don't want to touched by hell again?
No, I'm good.
Understandable. All right. Thank you for the information. And, I don't know. Try not to die.
You said you kept tabs on some, not like a club, but do you know where we can find others that took this job?
A couple of them live up in the richer part of town. Right. Another one is not too far from the Barghest, I think. They sort of put on, well, they do things that for people that the Barghest can't supply the need for, you know?
That's offensive, but fine. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. If you hear anything, we might be in town for a little bit. I would appreciate any information, you know, in case you keep your ear to the ground.
I mean, I plan to.
All right. Well, I best not be in your hair. Like I said, stay alive.
That's the plan. And you all both are able to head out of the tent. And Irileth, you were keeping an eye on the roofs, but also with your awareness, you were just sort of looking down each end of the alleyway, and you have seen what looks to be the same person passing back and forth across each end of the alleyway that you guys came from.
Do I know where they are now?
Looks like they are currently. The last time you saw them pass, they were passing from the way that you guys came to further in the same direction you would have been heading if you were just going straight, as opposed to taking this turn down the alley.
All right. A suspicious character headed that way. Let's, tell you what. I'll follow him. You stay behind and circle round.
Very well.
And I'm going to attempt to pursue this person quietly.
And I'm gonna also quietly head around the corner to try to catch them on the other side.
All right, I'm going to need rolls of dexterity and stealth, please.
Ooh, I'm going to re-roll that. Use a little luck. Better. 21.
16.
All right. You, Irileth, you step out of the alleyway and you are very easily able to start blending into the crowd, into the throng of people that are making their way to and from along the streets of the Narrows. You are fairly certain that you are basically just another face in the crowd, and you have eyes on the individual. They are wearing leather armor, stuff that's not exactly as the heaviest, but is like looks decently made enough that, and they have a hood on that doesn't give you much inclination as to like if they are human or elf, but they are standing out just from the fact that you have seen them go back and forth, and they are just a little bit taller than most other people here. Brynnhilder, you are heading down the other way and circling around, and you feel like you've gotten, if you need to, you can get the drop on the individual that Irileth is following along. You've got a nice little spot where you can just step out and cold cock them or step in front of them if you need to.
Okay.
They are walking along a path that would basically lead them right into Brynnhilder, and they don't seem to be all that bothered. Irileth, you are pretty sure that they don't know you're there.
Can I see, are they they've got like a full cloak on, so I can't see like a belt or anything?
You do see a belt. They don't have a cloak on. The belt seems to have several small blades, like daggers, poniards, and a jambaya type of looking curved blade.
Do I see, and this is coming from recent Renfair experience, like a pocket pouch where they would keep letters?
You do not.
All right. I'm going to move out to the side so that I'm like within a step and striking distance. And as I see Brynnhilder move up to the corner, I'll just point to him and nod and be ready to jump in as soon as she grabs him.
All right. And once I get eye on him, I am going to jump out and attempt to pin him down.
All right. Go ahead and give me a roll of... I will say that this will be a roll of your body plus your athletics. It's the same
I'm
roll
sorry,
anyways.
could you repeat that?
Body and athletics. It's the same roll, so just go ahead and use the background.
Sure.
I can also jump in with a trip. So if she's throwing him to the ground, I'll take out his feet.
Okay.
You want to brawl or something?
Yeah, that'll be reflexes and brawling.
Sweet.
I would like to spend a luck point and re-roll that.
One moment. You actually should have a much higher roll since your dexterity is 10, not 5. I don't know why it's coming up with your dexterity only being 5.
Because my she hates me.
It seems that way. So that would actually be an 18.
Okay. So 18.
Okay.
Yeah. And I did a strong attack to the legs for a 17.
All right. So, Brynnhilder, you step up and just grab him by the like just by the chest piece that he's got, and he is quickly able to be maneuvered as you have surprised him. Irileth comes up from behind and just shoves a leg right to his ankle and trips him very easily, to the point where Irileth and Brynnhilder, you are able to either put him against the wall or against the ground at your leisure. He doesn't look like he even had a chance to fight back because you surprised him so well.
What do you think? Wall or dirt?
No, wall.
He is up against the wall. Brynnhilder, because of your immense strength, you are able to basically hold him up against the wall, even off of his feet.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him dangling a little bit to where he can, if he tried to like squirm down, he might be able to touch the floor with the tip of his toe. But she's got him pinned flat and up.
Alrighty. His eyes are wide a little bit, but as soon as he sees you and Irileth, his hands are up and I'm not trying anything, I'm not doing anything. But he's got a smirk on his face, and he does have cat eyes.
I reveal his amulet.
It is an amulet that is of the cat.
Good morning. Not for you, especially.
Hasn't exactly gone completely pear-shaped yet. I take it that you are Lady Brynnhilder.
What would make you think?
Oh, I've heard stories about you. The Vatgaren on the Lord's leash.
Job is a job.
True enough.
And we're pretty sure you're on one at the moment as well.
Well, yes. I gotta get paid to be here. I don't exactly like to stay in slums longer than I have to.
Sucks, right?
It's not great, no.
Right. So, jobless. You know who you're working for?
I do. And I know a decent bit about the fact that we've got several recruits of malleable visage here. Yes.
So why are you following us?
Well, I wasn't following you. I was checking up on an asset. And, well, surprise, surprise, I see him talking to two people. Potential asset. He hasn't said yes yet.
I'm just going to lean over to Brynnhilder, to turn my face away from this guy. I might have to slit your friend's throat. Maybe not.
That's a very human answer to that particular problem.
Hey.
It's a very cool answer to that problem, too.
Also true, but we usually have a little more class about it.
Are you sure about that?
Are you saying I'm not classy?
I mean, the words didn't come out of my mouth.
Look, one assassin to another, you're on a bad job. Way too much involved.
Just saying, if there was a camera, Brynnhilder would just be looking into it and then looking back at Irileth.
Yep.
I'm serious. What are you doing? You're running recruitment?
Yeah.
Why? How much are you getting paid for this?
Oh, way more than is reasonable for most people.
Oh. Interesting.
As for why I'm on recruitment, well, some Dopplers don't like talking to regular people. Most Dopplers are a little bit more okay talking to a Vecker.
Right.
Yeah. We heard that there's
Oh.
another. Where is he?
Another what?
She looks down to
Witcher.
her pendant, looks down to his pendant, and then looks up.
Oh, there's more than just one.
How many are there?
Half dozen.
Listen. So many in one condensed area. Are they all working for the same person?
He just grins wide at that. You could say that.
I'm liking this fella less and less. Not you, the one on top,
Oh no, that's perfectly fine.
the mage.
I'm not exactly a fan of him either. Talks way too much. Way too much. But he pays well, so.
I've had worse bosses. Unfortunately, your Doppler's killed a friend of mine. And now I'm on contract to get payback in the larger form.
Revenge. Everyone's favorite zero-sum game.
What's your name?
Yara of Tucson.
Yara.
I think we might have our work cut out for us if there's this many witchers in one condensed area. That isn't a good thing.
You know, Yara, you're gonna be a real pain in my ass, I can tell. Not personally, but I had a good thing here. Just living and fucking and fighting and... What's so important about these kids? Why'd you have to go and fuck it up? Why'd he have to go and fuck it up?
I mean, if you're asking me exactly why the man on top wants all these kids, beats me. I don't get paid to ask questions. I just get paid to do the recruitment and clean up messes.
How's the mess cleaning part going?
I mean, my partner should be taking care of that right now.
Your partner?
Is there another Witcher here? I'd like to check the surroundings.
Go ahead and give me an awareness test.
Because that is exactly the sort of thing I'd say before my friend stabs someone interrogating me in the back. It's a great line. $18.
You are looking around and you're just like looking at all the different faces, all the different like people passing by. You don't see anyone else in like as good of armor as this guy. That's a one decent thing to see. And you don't see anyone else with cat eyes, nor do you see anyone else like armed like as well. Some people have clubs, some people have knives. No one is armed like this guy is.
Right.
Now, you said that the man on top does a whole lot of talking.
Oh yeah, constantly
What?
going on and on about prophecy and destiny and the next conjunction of this.
No. I need specifics.
Brynnhilder,
Of course you do.
maybe we get the details from him in, say, the dungeon?
Huh. Yeah,
Irileth
sure.
is still scanning the crowd, hand on sword.
How are we going to get him there without raising suspicion?
Aren't you like the head constable of the city? Pretty sure you can just walk him through the streets.
Something like that. Fine. You know what? Catboy, you're coming with me. And she's just gonna lift him up, fling him over her shoulder, and hold him by the back of the knee, and just begin to walk.
Usually I have to pay for this kind of treatment.
No. Today you get it for free, and she's just going to put more weight on the back of his knees to kind of send just small pain thresholds going up as a signal of, you better not move.
Yeah. All right, all
Really
right.
easy to gut check a fella in that position. All right. And I will stay behind, keep an eye on him, keep an eye out for his friends.
All right. As Brynnhilder carries him off, you just sort of like keep your distance and check around for anyone else with similar sort of armor, similar sort of like way they carry themselves. Because you know how people who are used to combat and battle walk. They have a different sort of gait to them than regular people. You see one step out from Koro's alleyway. And you see them look left to right and then begin just heading off in a different direction.
Damn it. Could I tell if they were like, did they have a weapon out?
You did not see a weapon out, but you did see them looking like they were putting away a small dagger.
Right. All right. Well, I don't feel like going one-on-one with another Witcher, so...
Yes, and I only have so much room to carry people.
Right. I mean, we could just slit Yara's throat and go after his friend.
I'd rather you
What do you
didn't.
think? Right, but you're our prisoner. And, you know, needs must on the job. Is there something useful, some reason we shouldn't kill you?
I mean, I may not like the guy that talks all that much, but he did say some things and I did listen. And I know which schools are working for him, if that helps.
Tell us
does
the schools.
Your friend know all that too?
Maybe he doesn't really pay as much attention. He's into, the drink a lot more. As for the schools, some of us, it's mostly cat schools. 3 of us from the cat, two snakes, and one of yours, a griffin.
Hold on. And she kind of stops dead in her tracks. There's a griffin.
Yeah. I didn't really see him myself, but others were talking about him.
That's no good. We're gonna have to get him back as soon as possible. I gotta go out and I gotta find the Phoenix.
Yeah, we got work to do.
And she's just gonna pick up speed
double
So-
time it back to the palace.
You guys are double timing it back to the palace with your prisoner in tow. And we are going to shift focus over to Nienna and Fenix
And Siegryn?
and Siegryn, yes. All heading out to talk to an elven man whose child was stolen from in a much more upfront and violent manner.
Yes.
You are heading down to the Narrows, to a different part of the Narrows than where you were just the other day. It is a lot quieter here. There's a lot less business. Like the other area of the Narrows was like kind of like the Narrows Market area. This seems to be a much more calmer, sort of residential type of area, with a whole lot more shacks and old sort of tenements that are being repurposed.
I cannot reiterate this enough, Fenix. Do not be rude to this man.
Listen, I won't be rude in the slightest to this individual who is going through something terrible, unless they're withholding information that would be vital to saving these children.
You don't have to be rude to them at all. If you haven't figured it out, I'm really good at getting things out of people without laying a finger on them or even being rude to them.
If I hadn't insinuated what I did, they wouldn't have told us the rest of the information.
That's not necessarily true. We could have just fucking asked.
We don't have time.
All right. Just for those who are a little hungover, who exactly are we dealing with?
The father of one of the children that was taken.
Ah, I see. Yes, we should probably try to be polite as best as we can. I'm probably already going through enough as it is.
We are going to be polite until they waste their time. Is that fair enough?
No.
That's all I can give you.
How people don't have many children, Fenix, losing one is a blow I cannot begin to explain to you. It's not just a loss for one person, it's a loss for all of us.
I stand a bit better than you might think. But I take your point. As long as you take mine. If that's the case, and I agree with you, then there is no time.
I believe him when he says that the children aren't dead.
No, I absolutely agree. I just want them back as soon as possible. But nevertheless. Is this it?
Yes.
You are standing outside of a large, sort of abandoned-looking tenement-esque building. And the door looks like it is sort of barely just on rusted hinges.
Tenement, so there's like apartments inside.
Yes.
I will pull the door open and head for whichever apartment we were told to look into.
It would be the apartment on the second floor. Each floor is sort of a different apartment in this sort of older style and older abandoned building.
Okay. Making our way up there then.
You make your way up to the second floor, and you can hear someone inside is currently sobbing.
Going to knock on the door.
1 moment, please. And you hear shuffling inside and a little bit more movement, and after another few moments, the door opens up and you can see a elven man with dark hair, cut short. He does very much look like he's been crying. He's like, yes, can I help you?
I will immediately shift into the Elvish version of Elder Speech. I know they're really similar, but Nienna would instinctively want to swap her colloquialisms and such.
Of course.
Good evening. We are looking into the cases of the children that have gone missing, and my understanding is that your child was taken from you. Would you have time to talk to us?
Oh, yes, of course. Come on inside. And he will open the door the rest of the way for you to head inside. It looks very much like this is a man that does not have a whole lot to his name, but when he closes the door, he immediately moves to what looks to be a much nicer, like something that just stands out as he pulls out a number of cups and a set for tea that is all very like well-to-do, like it looks elven make with the designs on it.
Right.
I had just made some tea to help calm my nerves. Could I offer any of you some?
Fenix will respond in the Elvish version of Elder Speech. That would be lovely. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Of course. Would and he just looks down at Render. Companion like a saucer of water or cream or something?
Oh, cream would be lovely. Thank you.
Of course. And he will quickly move to get one of the saucers and put a little bit of cream inside of it for a much larger saucer than the normal little tea saucers, and put a bit of cream inside it for Render.
All right, there you go, boy. Drink up.
Can you tell us about the day your child was taken? Hello?
Yes. Sorry.
That's
Just... Well, it was not too long ago. We were coming back from fishing down at the docks. Pulled up a nice little haul, got a few things for dinner, and we were making our way back. And then someone stepped out from an alleyway, dressed all in leather armor, not the sort of that you see on these straight toughs, but like proper make. And he said that he had a proposition for me, that he would make sure that I was well taken care of, but he wanted me boy. And of course I told him to fuck off. I told him that I wouldn't ever... Nothing would separate me from my boy. Next thing I know, I got hit on the back of the head, and the fucker. He breathed something against me, something that made the whole world spin, and the last thing I heard was my boy calling for Papa.
I see. Can you describe the man?
He was a tall fucker. I think he was he was a human at one point. when he got close to me, I saw his eyes. They were the eyes of a cat, like a Vatgar.
Was he wearing a pendant?
Yeah, he was. It looked like a cat's head.
Of course it did.
But what would a Vatgarn want with my boy? They don't make Vatgarns no more.
It's very likely it had something to do with the contract.
Contract? Who put a contract out for my boy?
I don't know. I don't know if it was for your boy specifically, or if the situation was just unfortunate for you. You said this took place how long ago?
It was only about 4 days ago.
Yes. All right. May I... Was there anything about your boy that you think might have marked him as different, other than being one of the elder folk?
Well, what do you mean? Like what, if he had, like, magic or anything?
If you believe he had some sort of gift for it. Some people get small gifts that wouldn't necessarily be considered magic or sorcery, but they're unusually good at something.
Well,
Or they have a way of knowing things they shouldn't.
that makes him stop for a second. My boy, he kind of had a way about him. Like, he'd look around when we were walking down the street one day, and he would say, and this is where, and then he would say something that would happen. Like, one day we were walking around the docks, and he just started laughing, saying that he was going to watch, well, a working girl from one of the places down by the docks, and watch her hit a guy with a pan for not paying her. And I just was wondering, like, what he meant by that. And then about 3 seconds later, out comes a working girl from one of the brothels, beating a guy over the head, wondering where her payment was.
Hey. Did this happen often?
Not like daily, but here and there he would mention things happening right before they did.
What exactly, how far has he seen events like this before? In terms of time?
Well, if this is actually something, usually he might see something happening. Usually it's a few minutes, but sometimes he's mentioned something that happened the next day. It was when his mother passed. He woke up from a nightmare a year to the day before, screaming that he didn't want her to go. And then a year to the day later...
Poor child.
Forgive me for asking, but how long ago was that?
2 years ago. It was when we were still in Dolbathana before we moved out here.
Um, 2 years ago, Saul, does that correspond with any particularly important date for me?
Not super particularly, no.
Okay, good.
Just going off of memory, I'm not asking him. The other person that we visited, did it look like they had been there long?
They looked like they had been there maybe a couple years.
You moved here from Doblathana?
We lived far, but when she died, her parents just sort of, well, didn't really see much purpose aside from helping to care for the child. Didn't see much purpose in me being there, and they offered to take my boy away. And I wanted to make sure that wasn't really an option for them. I wouldn't lose my boy too. So I moved out here.
Was there anything of... It's odd that they would want to take him and want you to not be in his life. What sort of status did their family come from?
They were, well, nobles, but they had connections to some of the mages.
Of course they did. It is very like noble families to think that they can do away with something they don't think is important anymore.
But you do have my respect being willing to come all the way out here to find a new life. I'm sorry this has happened to you. Did you... I'm sure you must... It's a long trip. Did you come down here with anyone else?
Well, there was another with us, but he stopped and made a life for himself in a different city on the way here. He was a craftsman, had a knack for making blades.
Didn't have to get his name, did you?
Tareth, I think it was. It was something like that.
Out of character, what's Phoenix's mentor's name? Nienna would know, but I have forgotten.
I'm double checking. I believe it's Ibar.
It's Ibar, yeah.
Yeah, Ibar Hottery.
Cool. But can I roll to see if I know who that person is?
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's call it,
An automatic success?
Yes, absolutely. Let's go ahead and call it intelligence and crafting, because it's based off of your knowledge of like other people that your mentor might have talked about.
Dope.
So you'll just need to roll 1d10 and add your intelligence score and your crafting skill.
23.
That will do it. You do remember Ibar speaking a bit about an individual named Tareth. He was a craftsman who spent most of his time in Doblathana just because he preferred to focus on the elven way of making things as opposed to trying to learn other like outside world ways of making things. But he left Doblathana after tragedy struck himself and his own family. His wife had gotten killed in a altercation with the squirrels. And then his son got killed by a fiend.
If he would allow me to continue going off of that role, given my investigation of the wound and the doppel from a few sessions ago, would I be able to match up that particular kind of blade with that entry wound?
The wound would be very much indicative of a blade of elven make, like very skilled elven dagger making.
Right. Quick, dirty, and to the point. Fenix would take a sip of his tea and, continuing in Elvish as he was, thank you for all of the information. It has been deeply informative and helpful. We are taking every action and using all of our abilities to find them as soon as we can. Him. Sorry, out of character, him.
If you have any spare belongings of your boys, if Render is able to pick up this scent, we can use that to potentially locate him.
One moment. And he'll head off to a smaller room. He opens up and looks slightly larger than what would be like a closet in the palace, but it apparently acts as the boys' room in this little dilapidated building. And he pulls out what looks to be a rod of wood, just sort of. It looks almost like a walking stick, but like child-sized. He liked to wander and liked to pretend that he was going on great adventures when he would run around the Narrows or up near the docks or the other parts of town. He always carried this with him. Said it would help him keep him safe. That he would bonk anyone on the head and send them running.
Well, who knows? Might just be the thing that'll get him out of danger. And she'll hold out her hand for it.
And he will just pass it off to you. If you do find him, well, please give that to him. It might give him some comfort.
Of course.
Yeah.
If there's anything else I can do to help, please just let me know. I know that I'm not the only one who's been unlucky or having to deal with this, so I want to make sure that everyone can get back to where they need to be.
Of course. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. And he'll put the cup down gently. It's like, this craftsmanship is beautiful. But gesturing at the set.
It is. Thank you. I actually made that back when I was in Doblathana.
Yeah, he just smiles, bows as well as he can, because I'm pretty sure he'd be ducking this entire time.
Yeah, you're like avoiding hitting your head on the ceiling.
Yeah. He'll bow and make his way towards the door.
Nienna will follow.
Yep, and
He will
go ahead and pet Render on the head and take the little saucer that looks like it's cleaner than when it was first made now, with Render constantly looking at it. And he'll just give you a small bow to Siegryn. I hope you all remain safe on your journeys.
I hope so too. Thank you so much for your help. Come on, Render. Let's get moving.
And Render will trot out along with all of you.
Oh.
This is
Well,
troubling.
decompress well away from here. Yeah, and he like he just like ushers everyone into like a brisk pace a little bit away from the building. It's like not right here.
I didn't say anything.
No. He was cutting off Siegryn. But sorry, yes, it was a lot.
I think I might be beginning to put things together.
So, either most of the children have these gifts or some connection to mages.
It's not that simple.
What are you piecing together then?
A group of children, all relatively at the same time, started developing abilities that seemed to have something directly to do with predicting the future in some way that led to them seeing terrible incidents in the future that then occurred.
This is the only child we found out who had that gift. There are a great many more gifts out there than precognition.
True. But what I was going to say next was, one way, for one reason or another, one of their parents seems to no longer be here for each of these children.
Yes.
And then the parents themselves decided to leave Lokothana.
Some of them, yes. I need to speak to Irileth.
I need to speak to Brynnhilder.
Actually, out of character, we saw the boy that got taken from the brothel. Saul, did he have any hints of being of mixed heritage?
From what you saw, he just looked like a normal human boy.
Okay. Then I definitely need to talk to Irileth, because he might know more.
Right. And then there's also, it may not be the same for all the children, of course, but the grandparents of noble stature wanted the child back.
Yes. This is not entirely uncommon, however. Especially among my people.
Right.
Breeding is important, and if the father was lower born, it would be far more convenient for them if he was not in the picture. It's a brutal reality, although it's one I see in human societies as well.
Do you have a mental way of connecting to Brynnhilder at that moment? Because with all the information, okay. The addition of witches is uncomfortable.
Well, we did know that there was at least one involved. I just didn't think that they would be
This involved.
right. I assumed that they'd been hired to get rid of unwilling participants.
This is why Irileth drinks so much. Alright, let's get going.
Yeah, we're gonna go. Actually, since we're in the Narrows,
Right, I was gonna say the same thing.
can I actually? I'd like to detour to that other father that we spoke to, the one whose daughter was taken.
Okay. You are free to do so.
I would like to do that.
Okay.
Like, Nienna's like walking like she's going back to the brothel, and then halfway, like, you know, after a couple 100 yards, like turns hard left.
All right. You make your way back to the same little, like, building where the other father was. And you can make your way back up to his little apartment and knock on the door again. He will open it up. Ma'am, Is there anything? What's wrong? Can I help you?
I apologize for disrupting your evening again. May we come in?
Yeah, of course. And he will just step out of the way for you to enter in again. Can I get you something? I don't have much.
No, we won't. We won't take up much of your time. I do appreciate the offer. A few things. First and foremost, I understand this might be a sensitive topic, but trust me when I say that it is relevant. What did your wife pass?
Yeah, she did.
When?
2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, Siegryn will flick her eyes over to Brynnhilder, widening a little.
Brynnhilder's not here.
Oh, my bad.
I think Siegryn meant Nienna.
Yes. Sorry.
And this is going to sound odd. Did your daughter have any unusual talents? Was she particularly good at something that other children weren't? Did she have a way of knowing things she shouldn't have been able to know?
No, nothing like that. It was kind of interesting. She had a lot of animal friends. Not really too many other kids that she's played with, but like the cats that would be around here or the occasional dog would be here, and they would almost gravitate to her. They would go and she would feed them and name them and almost talk to them like they were people and act like they were talking back.
See. Out of character, does he look like he's got any elvish blood?
No, looks like a normal dude. Looks like just a normal run-of-the-mill human.
One more question. Is there any chance that your wife's side of the family had any elderfolk blood in them?
How did you know that?
That feeling.
Yeah, she said that she apparently came from elves some way far back in the line. Don't know exactly how far though, but yeah, she said that she had elven blood in her, and that's what made her so pretty. I said it was just because she was the most beautiful woman in the world, though.
Good line.
I thought so.
Thank you.
Of course.
That was all we needed. I appreciate you taking the time for us.
Of course. If there's anything else I can do, please don't hesitate to ask.
Nienna will nod. Lead the way back out again.
Yeah, Fenix just gives him a bow and heads out.
And once we are well away from the building, she's going to look over at Fenix and Siegryn. They've all lost their mothers.
I hate that rubbing his forehead. I said it out loud. I shouldn't have, because it was right. And it was the right... Oh, God.
They're gifted. It doesn't always lead to them having magic.
No.
Being capable of sorcery, but it frequently does.
This does not bode well.
It's an off-putting question.
Said that they would all serve a purpose in the years to come. Why would he be collecting gifted children? Gifted elven-blooded children.
Here's just a question.
What?
Just because two people are gifted doesn't mean they'll have a gifted child, yes?
It's not guaranteed, but it can be more likely.
Right.
Most gifted in chaos don't have children at all. Not most of us aren't capable. But don't. I would bet that if we could look into the parentage of Jack, we would find someone of elvish blood in his history, in his family line. And that he probably had some sort of strange gift that no one ever thought much of.
Yeah, Fenix just starts, just looking around the narrows at the people passing by. Could literally be anyone.
Could it be possible that he's attempting to magnify their gifts in some way?
Possible, but many of the things these gifts can do, magic can do more effectively and more reliably. We have people who are gifted in seeing the future. We have people, well, not very many mages who can speak to animals, but there are druids.
Maybe it's also a comfort thing. I mean, you can learn to speak to animals, but doing it naturally is inherently more powerful.
Maybe there's some form of significance that's tied to the circumstances of how these gifts came about.
I think it's more to do with their bloodlines.
Saul, can I just roll to look at our surroundings?
Please give me an awareness test.
Yay, I'm good at those. My favorite. He's just kidding.
Could I also do an awareness test?
Everyone who would like to, please feel free to roll awareness.
19.
That's the best what I do.
I'm very glad that I asked to roll. Jesus, y'all. Come on.
The floor is made of floor.
The floor is made of floor.
This dirty region of people is dirty and regional and full of people.
This street appears to be a street. But I've been wrong before.
Trees cast shade and grass seems to be green of pigment.
Ah, perfect. The way it should be. Yeah.
So Fenix and Siegryn are still a little bit shaken up by learning that this all could be some sort of conspiracy involving magic and gifted children and elven bloodlines. So they're just looking around a little bit more paranoid than actually trying to search for something.
Amen.
And Nienna being more like, this is my wheelhouse. I am focused. Why is Brynnhilder carrying someone over their shoulder?
Oh, no.
Nienna just sort of stops, and when they don't seem to see it, she'll sort of reach out and grab the backs of both of their shirts to stop them from walking, and then turn them to face where Brynnhilder is.
And you all can see Brynnhilder and Irileth trucking along, seeming to be heading in the direction of the palace, with someone being carried over Brynnhilder's shoulder. Someone who's not even their hands aren't bound or anything. They're just being firemen carried almost.
We should probably check in on that, shouldn't we?
Brynnhilder is very aggressive.
Yes, but she doesn't usually invite a third along for... Never mind.
A third?
Oh,
Nienna's just gonna not say anything and hurry to catch up to Brynnhilder.
I don't need an awareness test for that one, but yeah, let's go.
I don't like it.
Does seem like he let you take him entirely too easily.
He's also learning a lot about us. I don't think we can let him get out of here.
We need to get him into a holding place.
Oh, he's in the cell.
Okay. Then I must go back and... There are others.
Really?
Other witchers, yes.
5 others, and you want to go prowling the streets for them?
There's one that's tied in with me a little bit. I might be able to reason with them. Reason is a loose term.
I'm less concerned about someone from your... I'm assuming your school.
Mm-hmm.
Less concerned about them being from your school and more concerned about the others that might be backing them up. That might not hesitate to kill you if given the opportunity.
I hate to say it.
Maybe.
But she's got a point. If we can find out where they're staying, hitting them when they're not ready, well, killing a fella in armor is a lot harder than killing a man in his bed.
I need to speak to you, Irileth.
Yeah, sure.
Away from ears that might be listening in, and she'll kind of look towards the cell. Because she spends enough time with Brynnhilder to know just how sharp their senses are.
Inside, Yara just looks over at you and just like gives a wave with one hand, like jangling the chains of the manacles.
Yeah. Actually, Brynnhilder, I do need to talk to you about the situation as well.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Nienna, clearly not fully in her right mind, given everything that has happened in the past 24 hours, is going to walk over to the cell and sort of kneel down so that she's on eye level with Yara. Understand that when they question you, you should give them every piece of information you have, because you will not like it if I'm the one to pull it out of you.
Oh, I'm aware what you mages can do. I had personal run-ins with Philip Eilhart. Not intent on going through that shit again.
To make it clear, I rather look up to her.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And the one who hired you taught me. Do on that for a while.
For the first time since you've met him, the smile lessens just a little bit. But he rests back in his seat again.
And I'm less inclined to talk than he is. And I will walk away.
Follow her out.
Once we are... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, we are going to start with focusing on the conversation between Irileth and Nienna.
Once we are well away from the cell.
The professionals?
I understand you might not know, but do you know who Jack's father was?
All?
You know that it was another guy from your squad when you served in the... The army. Ralph.
Yeah. It was a fellow from the old days. Real hard-nosed bastard. He carried a mace. We just called him Mace because it was like, you ever meet somebody who just, they have that energy?
Yes. Was he elf-blooded?
Yeah. I mean, most of us were. That's why we were, together.
Her eyes will kind of slow for a minute, and she's got this look on her face that she was it's obvious that she was hoping you wouldn't say yes. See. And is he dead?
I think so. I haven't heard from him in a while.
And the boy, was there anything special about him? Did he have talents other children didn't have? Was he particularly adept at any given thing that seemed perhaps not otherworldly, but unusual?
Jack was, he was bright. He was a bright kid. Honestly, his mom kept him away from a lot of stuff.
Did he... Was he gifted in any way?
Irileth, please give me a roll of intelligence plus your swordsmanship.
My reflex and intelligence are the same, so I'm just going to roll swordsmanship.
Go right ahead.
No, I don't want to roll a special move. Okay, well, we're going to have to go through that. It wants me to put in 8 things to roll swordsmanship. I'm just going to roll a d10.
Go right ahead. Sometimes the macros be crazy. Unfortunate.
Oh!
Okay, so I'll roll another d10 and subtract that from the total. Okay, so that's an 11.
Okay, so with an 11, you were trained fairly well when it came to swordsmanship before you were sent out to actually fight. You didn't get a lot of time to sort of hang around with Jack. He generally sort of stayed up in his mom's personal room. But sometimes here and there, whenever she was busy and Jack wanted someone to mess around with, he would ask if you would teach him things. If you would teach him how to fight, so that way he could protect people, because he was very interested in keeping people safe. You would take him out to the back courtyard area of the body bar guest, and you would sort of play, sort of train. But there was always something that sort of intrigued you. Is that the talent that he showed and the speed with which he picked up how different maneuvers worked, how different sort of guards could be slid under or around, was mind-boggling to you. He was able to pick up sword techniques and figure things out instinctually that took you months of training to figure out.
Yeah, the kid was a good fighter.
Unnaturally
weirdly good.
so.
Unnaturally so.
I was afraid you'd say that.
I'm assuming this is related.
It is. Not entirely sure how, but I'm working on a theory. What we found out is that every single one of these children that we've looked into so far had a parent that died in the last few years. An unusual gift that other people don't have. And elven blood.
That's... Huh. That's... I mean, might be useful.
It is.
I don't know how fast we can find out how many more kids fit that. Set up some kind of trap, but...
I don't think we need to... Oh, you mean look for others like them?
Yeah. Yeah, protect other kids that they would try to take.
I wouldn't know how to start. It's not like we have a easy
You actually want to talk to Sig about that. You want somebody who can talk to a lot of people in a short amount of time? Sort of mobilize? Sigryn's not just here for the dog, you know what I'm saying?
I suppose it's not like there's records kept on at least not here.
Yeah.
And I can't get to where records like this would be.
Because Doblathana.
Yes.
That fella, what are we calling him? Your ex?
Isilgir.
Like, yeah, but are you two? What's the deal?
There is no deal. Irileth.
Okay.
I just found out that the man who saved me is taking children for reasons I don't understand entirely.
Right.
I obviously can't trust him the way that I thought that I did because he's not the person I knew. Thought I knew. Perhaps he never was.
Right, and if you can't trust him. All right.
What are you asking?
Nothing. I mean, it seems like these kids are maybe... Because he talked about prophecy, didn't he?
He did. Destiny.
Destiny, right.
And
I always get those two mixed up.
They would also have a great purpose in the years to come.
Huh. I don't know. I was just curious. Yeah, we could try to find more kids like that. We could try to find out where these witches are sleeping and, kill a few, drive the rest off.
This is an odd question. Can I, try to make some sort of empathy check to see if he really was just curious and that's why he was questioning, what we call the big bad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely, you may.
Would that be, human perception?
That would indeed be human perception, yes.
19. I'm very consistent today.
Irileth was trying to figure out if you're single.
Noted. Okay. Not going to say anything about it, but I just want to know that I know. We should go make sure that Brynnhilder doesn't go get herself killed. And
yeah. Also, not gonna lie, it would look really good on my resume in 100 years if I could say I'd killed a couple witchers.
Yes, I suppose it would. Especially considering the schools that they're from.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
I wonder if I should tell Mom and Kay about this.
You
I don't think she's in danger, but
she should still know. Although there's no children there, is there? There's only the
No.
one.
no, but Mama Kay's got some ways and some artifacts. And if I was a Witcher,
Artifacts.
yeah, she's been around. I mean, she doesn't run the most successful brothel in town on wit alone. Not that she couldn't. Beside the point, I'll send a runner.
What does she have that a witcher might want?
You know, that's kind of her business. That's kind of her business. I'm just a little worried, is all. Because I like my job. And I've had bosses die before who I liked working for, and it's fucking annoying.
Very well. Think you can pivot to the other scene now?
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and shift focus over to Brynnhilder and Fenix.
Yeah. The other direction, equidistant away.
Yep. And the other way.
Yeah. Just stops and kind of leans up against the wall and takes a really deep breath. Do you know any of them? And he's kind of just like looking down at his hands while he asks the question.
It is difficult to pinpoint if I know any of them. I don't know who is out there. Would I know, GM, would I know of any other Griffin School Witchers
That
that would be in the area?
You know that there were a few from your class. You're like when you got inducted in, like that were in the same sort of batch of Witchers as you. There were a few more like that are in other vassal states of Nilfgaard. But you don't know of any other Griffin Witchers that are specifically in this region that you're in.
There is a chance that I know of the one from my school, but I can't make any promises that I know of the others. I know.
I gotta tell you,
I know.
I'm doing pretty well for myself, Brynnhilder. You know what I mean? I head low, doing everything I need to. You've introduced a few Witchers to me, and they were less than cool, but they accepted what I've been trying to do. And you do see his hands kind of shaking at this point.
She's going to grab his hands and put them like up. You need to listen to me, Fenix. I'm not going to let them hurt you.
If that psychopath is still running around and spreading all the misinformation she possibly can, then my entire family is in danger. I could give a less of a fuck about myself.
You need to give a fuck about yourself if you want to protect your family. It doesn't work that way. And you know that.
There's fucking 6 of them.
I am aware, and we are going to make sure that they have no clue where your family is.
He fucking figured it out with just... I was like 20 feet away. He's like gestures towards where Yara is. I mean, I know your nose is really, really good. But I recognize that face. I recognize that look. It's the look of someone who understands. Or at least recognizes.
Okay.
I'm good.
I know.
Okay.
I know. And our circumstances are a little bit bizarre. I know that not every one of my kind is as open to letting you and your family stay. But you need to trust me when I say I've protected you and your family before, and I am more than willing and capable of doing it again.
He kind of pulls his hands away from you, and he takes off the worker's gloves that he's always wearing. And you see 2 silver pins embedded in the palms of both of his hands. And he kind of like puts them up to his like mouth and just like pulls them out. That feels better. It's not that I don't trust you. He starts putting his gloves back on. I just don't want them in the way. If I'm just, going to get some bread one morning and 2 of them roll up on me.
Would you feel better if you had someone by your side? Or to at least watch your family when you go?
No, I think that unless someone really looks into my name, I think I'll be fine. I'm not exactly from around here, and he like gestures to all of himself. But
That is fair.
blood my lineage or not, we've been allowed to exist for the time being. As long as no one starts asking Iba questions, I know he won't say anything, but we just need to find Joe Witcher, and maybe on the way through town looking for the Witcher, just give word to Iba, because fortunately we've made a name for ourselves for silver weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize.
Don't. What do you have to apologize for?
Listen, don't tell the rest of them, but I am an apologetic ass. I will apologize for literally anything.
I know, and sometimes it can be very annoying. And then she just smirks.
All right. Like looks at the pins in his hands and looks around and kind of like tosses them out the window behind him. Okay, let's pretend this never happened. Super serious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, would he smell blood?
Are you asking if Fenix could smell blood or if the Witcher could smell blood?
The Witcher.
Depends on if he's really like scenting for it. It isn't exactly a very like with as small as the pins were, they wouldn't be giving off too much of that scent.
Right. Oh well.
And when I begin to kind of like not let my guard down, but kind of like when I'm like in like a neutral state, what's my necklace like?
Like, are you asking if it might be buzzing right now?
Yeah, is it buzzing at all?
Very, very lightly. If only just because you've been around this sort of like situation for long enough that it isn't that even though the necklace sort of begins to register it not being as intensely like dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, that has to be annoying.
Yeah. You get used to the buzzing and the vibrating. Plus, I've learned to control it around you, so it's fine.
I owe you a new sword.
We'll talk logistics. As for everything else, like I said, I'm a woman of my word if I'm anything, and I'm not much of anything. So just know that I am as long as you're with me, you're safe.
He just nods. If you were only one for hugs, I know you're not. I learned that lesson the hard way.
I'll allow it once.
And he just gives you a big hug immediately.
She, like, the look on her face just says, do not like, do not like, do not like. But she grabs and pulls you in for a bear hug, just like you're doing like a bit of her force.
Ow, ow.
Is this how you do it?
Nope, this isn't.
Okay.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
let go up. You're good to go. You're fine.
Sorry. I'm learning to get better.
You're doing great every time you're learning, and it's been an absolutely beautiful experience. You're doing great. You're doing really good. Yeah, let's make our way back. Let's make. Ow,
Phoenix,
no.
as you move things pop.
Sorry.
Yeah, what's up? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, as you move, things are popping a little bit here and there. Just pop. Ow. It's not the most pleasant.
Yeah, that's about 5 feet of spine rearranging itself.
You know what? I hear that sometimes that's good for your back.
That was agreement.
The first time's free.
Thank God.
And then she pats him on the back and brings him back towards where the others should be getting back to.
Back to being outside of the cell.
Siegryn?
Siegryn.
Are you here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you were around the corner. Didn't see you. I apologize.
I was wondering where everyone went. All of a sudden, I was by myself with poor Renda here.
Well, and she'll kind of look over at the cell.
Oh, yes, and this poor sod as well.
Do you remember what we talked about on the way here?
Refresh my memory a little.
About the children.
Yes, I remember.
Do you think you could take those theories and distribute them to people that you know and see if they can find any more who might share those qualities? And are still around?
She bobs her head from side to side. I can see if someone knows some other people who might be able to find them. Shouldn't be too hard.
I would appreciate that, and as quickly as possible.
Of course.
But first, Yara.
Hello.
You were going to tell us some very interesting things.
Do you have a
remember
specific
not killing
topic?
you for it. The mage has been talking a lot, you said.
Yeah. Like, a whole lot. Really likes the sound of his own voice.
Yeah. What's he
Looking at
been
me
saying?
in particular when he says that.
What's he been saying?
Well, Mostly a whole lot about how he really wishes he didn't have to do this, that it's all for the greater good, because of course it is. I mean, he just rolls his eyes.
Yeah.
That
One of those, all right.
That there's going to be a whole lot of hell to pay when it's done for him, or if I guess he thinks that something's going to come and get him for all the shit he has to do. I don't know. What was the other thing? He said that he wouldn't let the world suffer for the next conjunction.
Look around at the group. Does anybody know what that means?
Yes. At least out of character, I assume that I know.
Yeah, you've been trained.
I'm very well educated.
Yeah.
Right. So he's trying to do something with conjunction and kids.
I think
and
you're
you just
preparing for it is more of the whole deal.
Okay.
I can explain what the conjunction is later.
Right. Have you and your Witcher friends been assigned to deal with us in any way? Is that a thing?
Well, that's where it gets kind of tricky. We were originally given orders to just sort of take care of anyone asking too many questions. You know how it is.
Right.
But, well, then the orders got shifted where we're just sort of meant to keep you busy. Because apparently the man on top really likes, well, one of you. I can see why. And he just looks over at Nienna.
Hey, keep your eyes off.
Well,
Stay focused on the part where we're not killing you.
Yeah.
Nienna is pointedly keeping her eyes down.
So your boss tells you not to come after us because of her. Is that right?
That hits the nail on the head. That hits the nail on the head with a hammer.
And given that he's trying to keep us busy, he's still in the process of gathering. How far along exactly is he?
Well, last I checked, I think he said he only had one more, and he was still working to track him down.
And when he finds him, he's going to send the Dopplers to get him?
Oh, he'll send someone. Might be the Dopplers, might be one of us. Probably won't be Biggin.
Who's Biggin?
Rock Troll. Real nice. Dumb, but that's Rock Trolls for you. He sort of keeps eyes on and watches over the kids while we're working on making sure that they go from A to B.
Where are they?
They're with Biggin.
And where is Biggin?
Little cave about 4 or 5 days right outside of town.
Where precisely?
I mean, if you give me
North
a map,
Road,
I can
South
point it out
Road?
for you. Eastern Road.
We're in the castle, right?
You're currently in the palace dungeons, yeah.
I would like to flag down a guard or something and tell them to go get me a map of the local area.
At once. And he just quickly scurries off.
How long are they meant to be there?
Not long at all. They're just meant to be there until they get the last one, and then they're going to be taken to the big man the big man on top. He's gonna make sure that they get taken care of.
So we have to find the last child before he does.
I mean,
buy us time to find the others.
Okay, have you not picked up on the fact that we want to stop this? Why are you helping us?
Because he's keeping us busy.
See, one of you's smart.
Has Siegryn left yet, or is she still here?
No, she's still here. She'll actually pipe up at this point. Perhaps then we should take what he's saying with a grain of salt in regards to the location of the cave. Even if the cave is actually there, there's no telling whether or not it's a trap.
We have to check one way or the other, but in the meantime, I need you to do what I mentioned. Please.
Right, I'll go set about reaching out to my contacts.
You want me to watch your back?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, I certainly won't complain about the company.
All right.
Right, and she's going to go ahead and head off to do that.
Cool.
Nienna will just watch them go.
Probably see you back at the Bargest tomorrow.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And we'll head out.
You two head on out. Yara looks up at Nienna and says, "So, how long has he been wanting you?"
Silence your tongue or I'll remove it.
Yep, definitely a fan of Philip Hart.
Brynnhilder, we have to... Have you made sure that he doesn't have anything on him that would allow him to pick these locks?
When you brought him in, you and the guards did a thorough pat down. He did have lockpicks and such on him, but you took them away from it.
Extremely thorough?
I can go in and do one more look.
I would appreciate that.
One more thing I need to take from him.
That doesn't sound fun.
It rarely is.
So she's going to step foot into the cell. I assume that she can call on someone to let her in.
Yes.
She's gonna start, then she'll do another pat down on him. The one thing that she's going to take from this guy that she knows might really screw him over is his amulet.
Okay.
I know it's an odd suggestion, but check his hair.
I guess she's gonna run her fingers through his hair.
One of the first things that we're taught when we have to keep ourselves safe, but we're in polite company and can't carry weapons and aren't entrusted with things for casting, is that if your hair is long enough, you can hide a great many things in it.
His hair is actually cut a little bit shorter, but as the fingers run through, they don't feel anything too out of the ordinary. He's just like, "Oh, that's nice."
Another deadpan, kind of like a
You want to punch him, I won't tell anyone.
Question for you, friend.
Yeah.
While you're enjoying the gentle caresses. Tareth, silversmith. Know him?
Big fan of him, actually. He's been helping out a lot. He's been giving us all kinds of fun little toys.
Appreciate it.
Sure. You a fan of his work, too?
I'm a silversmith myself.
Hey. Always good to know the more smiths. Not enough people put stock into actually having relationships with those that make the stuff that they're really counting on to keep them alive or keep someone else, well, not.
I agree. Well, this has been fun, but I'm pretty sure this is the keeping us busy portion of the trip.
Yeah.
I like this one. He just gestures the, we should get going. Starts walking down the hall.
You.
You all leave Yara to his cell where he will be keeping for a good little while.
Brynnhilder, I'm going to go up and check on the Lord's son. Make sure that he is resting well. I don't think I can be of much more use here.
Would you like me to accompany you?
No, you have something to look into, don't you?
She nods.
Please be safe. Don't do anything reckless. If you get the feeling might go poorly, then come back.
I will be sure to do so.
And Nienna will just sort of like reach out and squeeze her shoulder for a moment.
Instantly tenses up.
Yeah, Nienna with her itty bitty little hands that can do absolutely nothing to you. It's supposed to be a comforting gesture, but it's obviously awkward because she knows you don't like being touched. So it's just a squeeze and then she walks away.
Yeah, yeah, thanks.
Once I'm safely out of sword's arm reach of you, you're adorable.
Shut up.
Silence.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Come on, let's go put my life at risk.
Now you're talking like a true witcher, and then another slap on the back.
Earned it.
So, we are going to go ahead and begin with Irileth and Siegryn.
Sweet. All right. Do you need me to make a rookery roll?
If you would, please.
Absolutely. I'd be more than happy to, considering the fact that I maxed this out.
Can I help in any way?
If you're willing to throw in a little bit of money, I would say that would give them an extra +1 to their rookery roll for every 50 gold you're willing to put in.
If it had been brought up, Nienna would have happily contributed. She's pretty well off.
Oh, excellent. Okay. In that case, how much is everyone contributing, or at least those involved?
They'll get a 10% discount at the Tooth and Nail.
Ooh. I would say that would give a free +2.
I get paid in bitches and booze.
When Nienna was told before they left, she would have disappeared upstairs for a little bit and then come back and dropped a rather heavy pouch into Siegryn's hand with 200 florins in it.
Ooh, okay. So that's a total bonus of
+4?
600?
Yeah, that would be a grand total of +6.
+6. Excellent. All right, rolling.
Very
Oh,
easy.
Good thing I
Very
had
well
that.
done.
26. Right on.
With the 26, you are able to very quickly get together your little ring of informants, people that people tend not to pay too much attention to, urchins and vagrants and the like, who you have made careful contact with to make sure that they give you all kinds of information that they see from where they are. And you are able to very quickly find out that there is one more child that is of elven descent. They are a child that is actually kept near down near the docks. Their father is a sailor. Their mother passed away about 2 years ago.
All right.
Well, looks like we got a lead. Where specifically on the docks are they located?
They are near one of the larger warehouses. Generally, their father wanted to keep them close to where his work was, so that way he would be able to get off the ship after months out and then come home and immediately hug his child. The child is a young girl about 7 years of age.
All right, then. Do we want to go ahead and pursue that right away, or should we gather the others?
Well, I hate to give up the advantage of time. Maybe we should split up. You get the others. I'll watch the house.
All right. I'll leave Render with you at the very least, so you're not entirely outnumbered.
Toothy grin. Yeah, I think we can handle it.
Sounds good. Render, guard. And she is going to start sprinting off.
And I'll head down to the docks.
Very well. Nienna,
Yes.
you were going to go check on the Lord's boy, was it?
I'm gonna go see the Lord first.
Okay.
But yes, I do want to go check on him.
He is in his little study area, currently working on paperwork for various things that require his attention, mostly like comings and goings of large sums of money for the town, for the city.
I will knock on the door.
Enter.
And I'll make my way in.
Nienna. Good to see you again. Brynnhilder is not with you.
She is looking into the matter that's plaguing the city.
I see.
I've been doing research on your son's current state, and I wanted to update you, if that's all right.
Please. Sit, and he will gesture to the seat across from him and will put down the pen and push the paperwork away to give you his full attention.
I have to ask you a question before we dive into specifics.
Very well, by all means.
Did you have your son investigating anything before he fell ill?
He looks at you.
Perhaps what you have us investigating.
He looks at you and then looks up and around. And he says, "I don't know what you're speaking about," but takes out the pen and writes something, and slowly passes it to you. And it says, yes.
I see. Well, then perhaps my feeling was incorrect. And I'm going to write back, the curse is tied to where he currently is. As long as he stays here and doesn't keep pursuing it, he'll be fine. It'll fade with time.
He reads this quickly and says, "Well, I appreciate your interest, and I appreciate that you're searching through every avenue. Truly." And he will write down and pass to you, "I will ensure that he stays here. Be careful."
I'm gonna just write back, did he have notes anywhere on what he found?
He quickly jots down, "had burned, mysterious." And he, like in ellipses, like he did, like he isn't sure why they got burned or how they got burned.
Well, if it's all right with you, I'd like to just check in on him before I get back to work.
By all means.
She'll stand up, she will curtsy, and she will go to do the thing with the checking in on the boy. I'm assuming his state is unchanged, but it was her excuse for coming here, so she's going to follow through.
Fair enough. His state is similar. He looks a little more healthy, honestly. Like the shade that, like the odd shade of purple, like across his veins, is slow. Looks like it's slowly beginning to turn back to like the normal state of like veins being blue. And the veins are like shrinking back down to the normal size that they should be.
Okay.
But he is still very much sick.
Yeah, she'll sit and keep him company, not really say anything or whatever, just sort of be there for a little while before she heads out to meet the others. Oh, no, wait. We're meeting tomorrow, so never mind. She'll just stay there for a while.
Fair enough. And Brynnhilder and Fenix.
Yeah.
What are you two up to?
So, Master Tracker of all things supernatural and arcane, how do you find a witcher? He's got like gestures to the city.
She just points to her pendant.
Oh, right.
Our kind, unless super well hidden, are a bit easy to point out. You know, and then she points to her eyes.
Right, but if they're trying to keep a low profile, I could make myself really obvious.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Not in broad daylight, no, but I could make myself really obvious. Sorry, I laugh when I'm nervous.
Fenix, you are fine. We should probably just do some deep searching during the daylight when it's safer.
Well, if you were a witcher and you were taking some time off, where would you go? Other than the brothel that we already frequent.
Well, if I was a witcher...
Well, if you were a witcher.
Honestly, most witchers go where there are booze, women, or men, whatever they're into, and gambling. You like Gwent at all?
I'm not bad.
We should test our luck at some of the lower end taverns.
Absolutely.
And we're just gonna go to a low end tavern to like one of just like the taverns in like the
Hell yeah, we're going bar hop.
Hell yeah.
So, checking out the nearest lower end tavern down by the docks.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go ahead and ask for a awareness roll or a gambling roll if you're going through the way of Gwent.
I'll make an awareness roll. I'm a lot better at that than gambling.
Could I? Sorry, I'm trying to argue for something else here. Oh, can I roll for Streetwise?
I would say yes. It would be a slightly different difficulty class, but yes, you could roll for Streetwise.
Joe.
Can I use a luck point to re-roll that? To re-roll that?
I would say yes.
Oh, come. The heavens, everything.
Actually, hold on. Your roll should be 17. It's because the sheet is being cruel to us all tonight.
Yeah, my sheet's broken.
So your roll would actually be 17.
Would mine change?
Let's see. Probably.
You have a 5 in your stat?
No, he in fact does actually have a 10, so that'd be 16 for him.
Yeah, okay, cool. Hey. Oh, I got a 16. Because I know these streets.
So, with your awareness and the way that you just know the streets fairly well, you are just enjoying the time at the bar, enjoying a couple of pints because you're both rather tough individuals. You can take it, and you need to keep it low profile. But you see someone come in who looks like they are a little bit more well-to-do. They are wearing decently well-made lighter armor.
Mm-hmm.
The same kind of armor that you would choose to wear, Brynnhilder.
Yep.
And you see them, but not before they see you, and immediately turn around and leave.
All right, I'm gonna stealth behind and try to follow them.
All right, give me a stealth check. Fenix, you also saw them, and you, as you head out after them, you see the way that they're turning. You know the streets of this area fairly well. You could probably figure out where they might be going.
Can I assist in that role by being as belligerent as possible?
I would say yes.
What do I roll for belligerency?
I rolled a 17 altogether.
Yeah. For belligerency, let's find out.
Intimidation?
I would say, yeah, let's go with intimidation.
Sure.
What's my bitchy stat?
Then he's just like, "Oh, we were just having a game, though. We're just having a game. I'll try and hand it went or something like that. I'll get you a pint." Boop. Yeah, it's just not being nice. That should be the freaking 19, right? It's gonna be a +5.
Yeah, I do believe so.
Yeah, so that's a 19.
So with that roll, you are able to, like, sort of distract him for a second, which gives Brynnhilder a chance to slip out of sight, but he is still moving quickly. You're able to keep Brynnhilder, and you both are able to keep on him, though.
Yeah, just like. But what about that one? Yeah, the one in the armor. Just walking away like that. I don't understand why you can't just give me something like, maybe hello, a name, turn around, tell me to fuck off, give me a something over here.
And now he's running. Less trying to move away and more trying to run away.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I have really long legs, dude. This is the wrong game.
You do.
To play.
I'm going to require dexterity and athletics tests.
From both of us, or just Fenix?
If you're trying to run after him, I would require a test. If you're just still trying to use stealth to sort of like sneak around and maybe try to cut him off, then I will require a. Let's go ahead and call it streetwise, but based off of your dexterity as opposed to based off of the regular stats for streetwise.
Yeah, that's an 18.
Yep.
Well, Chamberlain in these streets. Jesus.
You are running after him, and he seems to be really just booking it. Like, he's moving faster than you think normal people could anyway. Like, he's very likely got some alchemical assistance right now to get away from you faster.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled the 19.
And he is running and is just barely able to get out of get over a what looks to be like a little wall. And Brynnhilder, you were on the other side of that wall waiting for him.
All right, second verse, same as the first. I'm gonna pin him to the wall.
Give me a roll of body and athletics.
Wait, so you went up and over the wall? Is it like climbing up a wall? Is it hopping over a wall?
He little bit of both. He like used a nearby cart to sort of jump and get himself a little bit higher, so that way he would climb less. So that way he could finish his way vaulting over the wall.
So that is a 22.
He is a little less surprised than Yara was. When you go to grab him, he grabs at your wrists and just sort of tries to pull them off of him and brings his knee up to sort of make sure that you can't push your body against his. He uses his knee just sort of as a barrier between the two of you to keep you at length as well.
Am I tall enough to just grab up and pull myself for this thing?
Given the fact that you're absolutely massive, yes.
Cool. He'll just go do the 1-2 pull up, and then if the guy is not in the wall but at it, he'll just drop down knee first on top of his head.
He is currently being held up by Brynnhilder.
Never mind. I'll just sit on the top of the wall.
And is has pulled his knee up to sort of act as a barrier between the two. Let go of me.
Absolutely not. And she's gonna try to use more of her brute force to kind of get him finally pinned up.
Okay, go. You are able to pin him up against the wall, and I'm going to need you to please give me what is the roll called? A dodge/escape roll, please. As he brings a hand up and he is tracing a sign.
That's under reflexes, BB.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a lot of stuff on this sheet.
That would be another 22.
23.
23.
Yep.
Actually, it'd be 24 because your reflexes are 11 instead of 10.
Oh, right.
You are able to let go of him and get out of the way as a blast of force just rockets out from him and impacts the wall behind you and cracks most of the wall.
Okay, then if that's the game he would like to play, we're gonna have a handoff. I am going to use my good hand to start doing the sign for my fire stream.
Okay.
Yeah, just give me a moment. I have to remember what I have to roll for that.
I do believe it is your willpower and spellcasting.
Okay. Yep. So that's a 27.
Holy shit.
You bring your hand up and create the advanced sign for Igni. And instead of creating a small blast of flames, you just create a stream of it. And it washes over him. You see that he brought up his hand to make the sign for Quen to protect himself, but he wasn't fast enough to stop all of the flame, as it still laps across his chest and even a bit over his face. But he is, instead of sticking around to fight, he is moving again, even while on fire.
Yep.
I drop on top of him.
Give me a roll of brawl.
Come on, my boy.
Come on, man. This is what you're made for.
From the top rope.
Yes. Do I get a bonus because I'm doing it from the top rope?
I would say that you would, in fact, get a bonus for frog splashing from the top rope.
Oh, cool.
I will say that you'll get a +2 for superior positioning, and the fact that he's currently trying to escape while being on fire.
Would I just do strong strike? Because I'm doing it from the top.
I would say that this would in fact be a strong strike, but I would say that the bonus actually would be +3, so that would negate the negative from it being a strong strike.
Extra action, no. Submit. I am unarmed. It is random. And that is... What is happening with my stuff? There should be a +5 in there somewhere, because it's just taking it away. Yeah, so that'd be a 21.
You barrel down into him, just your full body right against the weight of him, and shove him right into the mud as you land fully atop him. He is still trying to scramble and get away, but you are basically pinning him.
I'll take the haft of my hammer and press it to the back of his neck. Listen, I genuinely actually just wanted to talk over a pint.
Says the one with the one who set me on fire.
Yeah, she comes on a little strong, but really lovable. Looks back at Brynnhilder for help, like, hey,
Brynnhilder's just standing there with another stream of fire at the ready. Just waiting for the go.
As long as she doesn't light me on fire again.
I will not promise that. I can't. Well, what I will say is that we genuinely do want to talk, so stop squiggling and stop reaching for whatever you're reaching for. I don't know what it is, but I'm not that much of an idiot.
He brings both hands up and just like, all right, fine. Damn it.
Can I see his amulet?
You have him sort of like pinned to the ground, like front first, and then you turn him around and you see his amulet, and it is an amulet of the snake.
Knowing that Brynnhilder has the fire at the ready, he will hop off that dude.
He still has his hands up. He's just like, if we want better alcohol, I know a better place.
You're buying the first round.
I mean, I'm not buying anything where I'm getting it from a associate.
As long as it's good. I like this shirt.
It'll be good. So long as she keeps her silver sheathed. Neither of you mind succubi, right?
I'm not well. Silver isn't great.
Yeah, I could tell. And you can see that his amulet is buzzing a little bit.
It'll just get... Brynnhilder's gonna get slightly closer to Fenix and just step ever so slightly in front of him to kind of just offer a protective stance in case this guy decides to attack.
Understood. And we are going to, as you head off to his preferred place, we are going to move over to Irileth after several hours of getting things together and making sure that Siegryn had the information she needed and that everything was clear. You are heading back to the body bar guest for the evening to retire, since everyone was going to meet back up in the morning.
I was actually... That's not what I was saying to Siegryn. I mean, I can do that, but I thought the plan was for me to go to the girl's house. The girl we think is going to get taken next. And...
Oh, that's right.
And, watch the place. Because if we're ahead of these guys for a change, I'd like to stay there.
Yeah, and Render will be there with him.
All right, give me a awareness test.
All right. $21.
With a 21, you can see that inside of the place there are lights on, like candle lights. It's getting later in the evening, and they're beginning to go out as it seems that the occupants are getting ready for bed. You don't see anyone suspicious hanging around the outside of the place, and you don't see anyone heading closer to it. But you just still get this odd, sinking feeling that there are eyes nearby. Either they could be on you.
Well, I'm definitely sticking to the shadows.
You're sticking to the shadows. Give me a stealth roll just to see how good you're doing.
Also, how's Render reacting so far?
He's calm for the most part, though from time to time he would give off like a low rumble, like a partial growl.
Do I get a bonus because it's nighttime?
I will say that you'll go ahead and get a +2 bonus.
Sweet. 24.
You are doing very well. No one of any sort of normal talent could easily see you. But you still get the feeling that there are eyes around. And that is where we're going to end for the evening.